Good morning, my dear students. Myself Navneet Kaur and I am going to teach you English literature in your 6th class. And today let's start with chapter number 11 of your book, page number 65. Please open and read with me side by side. So the name of chapter is Handful of Salt. This chapter is written by the author named Subhadra Sen Gupta. He was born in 1952. He is known to bring historical characters and a place. He is famous for bringing historical characters in his stories, historical movements in his stories. So many of our children books are historical fiction. Most of his children books are based on historical fictions, which are based on the incident which was happened in a past. He also writes travel stories. Underline this. He also writes travel stories, detective and ghost stories, as well as comic strips. Famous books, underline his famous books: A Clown for Tenali Rama, Jodha Bhai, and A 12 O'Clock Ghost Stories. Have won the White Raven Award at the Bologna Children's Book Fair. He also got an award. The name of award is White Raven. White Raven. He also a good recipient of Sahitya Akademi Bal Sahitya Puraskar for her contribution to children's literature in English. He's also got Sahitya Akademi Bal and Sahitya Puraskar because of her work in work for children. Most of his writings are for children. So let us start with the chapter. First of all, I am going to explain the difficult words to you. First one is benign. Benign means kind. Haltingly, uncertainly. Brisk, active. Craning means stretch. Peered up means look intently. Adoration means a deep love. And trudge means tiring, when you feel exhausted. So this is a story start with two boys, talk of two boys, but basically it is based on a very important historical event or a moment, you can call it. What is that moment? Everybody familiar with the name of Mahatma Gandhi? Yes. Also familiar with the name of Salt Movement? Yes. I think you read about it in your history and history 6. So chapter based on salt tax. Mahatma Gandhi defied the salt tax, denied to pay the salt tax to Britishers. So chapter is based on this. So let us start. A thin 61-year-old Mahatma, armed with nothing but a walking stick, marches to the sea with a crowd of followers. Read what fascinates two young boys in a small village in Gujarat as they wait for Bapu. Means Dhani and Gokul, name of two boys. Dhani and Gokul climbed up to the tallest peepal tree, waiting for the Dandi march or waiting for the march of Mahatma Gandhi. Mahatma Gandhi on that time was a 61-year-old man, nothing but only a walking stick he holds in his hand with so many followers, marching towards the sea for denying a salt law, paying a salt tax. So it was the best sport for a long distance view. They could see the rough village track for miles as it snaked beyond the huddle of mud huts to run along the Sabarmati river. This morning the river lay glistened in the early morning light. Glistens means shining. What the author said to us, that morning is like a shining morning, and the group of people like coming towards the tree on which Dhani and Gokul climbed up. No one knew when the procession would come, so the two boys had come prepared for a long wait. No one just have any estimate that when the march reach their village. So they are all waiting, some under the tree, some sitting on the tree, some here and there, all are waiting for Gandhi's march. They were carrying a small cloth bundle of chapatis and a couple of bananas. Both boys kept with them chapatis and a couple of bananas for their lunch. Dhani turned to his friend and asked, "How will we know when will Bapu come? He asked from his friend that how will we know that when he will come? Will there be someone beating a drum or singing or dancing? Gokul just smiled and shook his head. No, nothing like this happened with the Gandhi's march. What do you think? This is a Notanki show? He just mocked with each other. He said, you think that it is a Notanki show? You just imagine that there is a drum? No, nothing like that. The village had been talking of nothing else but the march for the days. All people just talk about that march. From what I can understand, Gokul began, Bapu will go to seaside and make salt. He said that he will go to seaside to make a salt. Salt, why salt? Why you do just speak like this in a silly manner? Dhani just astonished. Burning English goods, wearing khadi, that made sense. He said that the real purpose of march is to burn the foreign things, English goods, and wear a khadi, traditional Indian cloth. What made a sense? That make a sense. That's why Gandhi make this a march, organize this march. Why walk for days and days then instead of a big exciting bonfire of a foreign goods make salt? What is the use of this? To make just big bonfire of a foreign goods and walk for days and days and days. What is the use of this? Do you know all Indians have to pay a salt tax to British government? Gokul asked to Dhani, do you know that all Indians are pay salt tax to the British government? Even the poorest peasant had to pay tax, who was unable to pay, but still, because he thinks it is very unfair tax. By law, we are not allowed to make salt. He said that by law, we are not allowed to make salt as our own. It is under our government. We have to buy it from the government. He said that we have to buy it from the government. That's why the law or a tax is just made. So he will defy the law and make salt himself. He said that both are just sit on the tree and talk with each other. So they said that Gandhi only organized this march in order to deny the salt tax. Wah, Dhani grinned. Wah is a Hindi word used here in it. Wah, Dhani grinned. He's a clever, isn't he? He said that, good, wow, he's just an intelligent man. The two of them leaned back against the friendly trunk of a tree, and then an idea when they will be there. He said that when they will be there, please just tell me, inform me. Bapu said they had planned to start early this morning. Usually it's only few hours walk from Sabarmati Ashram. He said that from morning they start their journey. Now only few hours are just left to reach Sabarmati Ashram. Then he would be there anytime now. Dhani said that, so maybe he will come anytime. Then they should be here at any time now. They squinted eagerly down the road and together yelled, they are coming, they are coming. When they noticed the march coming towards them, all students, all children or all grown-up people just start yelling, they are coming, they are coming. The procession looked like a moving white stream flowing towards them. So the white river kept coming closer, means the white group of people all are wearing in a white dress, that's why they look like a white stream. Leading the way at a brisk pace was a thin figure clad in a short white khadi dhoti. Brisk here means an active, quick. All are like a very active. And with a large khadi shawl wrapped over his torso. And Mahatma Gandhi only wear a white dhoti and a large khadi shawl wrapped over his torso. He strode down the road leaning against a tall walking stick and holding a stick in his hand. Dhani stared at the small grandfatherly face. Underline this, that grandfatherly face word is used for Mahatma Gandhi. He just see that grandfatherly face, the bald head, the round spectacles, the watch swinging at his waist, and thought in a trump, oh, so this is Bapu. Okay, now first time I can see. Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. He said that the full name of Bapu is Mohandas Karamchand Gandhi. and also known as the Mahatma or a great soul. He looked like a benign grandfather, means he looked like a kind grandfather to all. Someone who should be sitting on a charpa in the village square under a shady tree. Instead, here he was leading a long march to freedom. He just organized a long march to achieve or to get a freedom. He is a biggest freedom fighter. He walked steadily, busy talking to the people beside him. He looked like that. He talked to other people in the march. Once in a while, someone would run up to garland him. Someone would come up near him in order to put a garland around his neck. And after that, another would reach down to touch his feet. Some people came near to touch his feet or to get his blessing. He raised his head in order to give the blessing to all. But he did not stop for a moment. These things he do, but he do side by side. He didn't stop his walking. Surprising speed for a man who looked so frail. Frail means weak. He said that he physically looked like very thin man, very weak, but he's really an active man, continuously walk. People joined the march from both sides of a road, and White River kept getting longer and longer. Men, women and children all are going to make assault. So that group consists of women also, children, men, every age group person is involved in that march. By now the boys were hanging out of the tree. Gandhiji kept coming closer. Now when they noticed that Gandhiji kept coming closer to their tree, they just come down from their tree. He peered up at the two young faces who were looking down with such a adoration and smile. Adoration means deep love. So Gandhiji also see intently towards the both boys with a adoration, with a deep love. Dhani looked at Gokul, and in a flash the boys scrambled down from the tree and ran to join the crowd of people walking towards them. So immediately they just come down from the tree and join the march also. They also want to go with them. So impressed with the personality of Gandhiji. They forgot about what their parents would say. They even forget the fear of their parents. They forget about that what their parents would say if they go somewhere. They did not worry about what they would eat or how they get back. Half the village was going anyway. Bapu had called them. How could they say no? So they are not saying no to Bapu because Bapu said that come with us. So they walked. It seemed as if the whole of India was walking. So the man told them that these boxes took pictures, and Gokul realized with a delight that his picture had been taken too. Two white-skinned Britishers are standing on one place, and some people said that they are clicking the photographs of that journey, that march. All the while the White River kept getting longer and longer. Bapu chatting and smiling and waving and nodding and marched on. They went through village where the road was covered with leaves and flowers, over muddy puddles and stony tracks. He just continued his walk, whether the road is plain or a stony or a muddy or a grassy, any type, but he just continued his journey. They soon stopped to rest for the hottest part of the afternoon, and when there is an afternoon time, they just rested down for their lunch. Whole march people just sat down and make the lunch and distribute it to all the persons. And also all the while, what is Bapu eating? Dhani wondered anxiously. With all his walking, he will need lots of energy. He said, what is Bapu eating? Let us see. Here you can see from this picture that Bapu is sitting and eating. Gokul looked around at the people sitting nearby. Some were dozing while others were huddled together talking. Some feel tired from the journey, feel sleepy, but some talk with a passion to get a freedom or to fight for their rights. The boys went close to one group of a man, one of them wearing a dhoti and kurta, chewing pan and speaking in a heavy accent, asked, "For how long do we have to walk?" One man asked from the group, "For how long we have to walk in order to make a salt?" Another answered uncertainly, haltingly means uncertainly, "Well, Sabarmati is in Ahmedabad and Dandi is on Bombay coastline. If I calculated in estimation, it would be about 385 kilometers, means 385 kilometers journey is still left. So there was a complete silence as everyone digested the long distance. When everybody just heard that this much distance is left, they just like hopeless. And by my calculation, the man continued, if we go the way we have started, walking only in the morning and evenings, it will take us 3 or 4 weeks. In sincerity, he said that if we walk like this, in this same manner, and rest in morning and walk only in morning and evenings, then it will take 4 weeks to reach that particular place. Trust Bapu to think of something like this. Do you realize that for all those days the whole country will be hearing and thinking about us? You think that we are doing this here, we are walking this here, we are noticed by our whole country. Eyes of a whole country are on us. So he is uniting the nation by making salt. He said that Bapu is uniting the nation by making salt. He is truly a brilliant man. Just then the boys noticed a tall thin man coming towards them. When the boys heard so many things from the elder ones, immediately they also noticed a tall thin man coming towards them. He stopped near them. Both the boys and the man looked at each other in an astonishment. They just shocked to see. Who was that? Their father. Before blurting out together, "What are you doing here?" Father asked from both the boys. "What are you doing here? You are just a child. This is not the work of children. You just go back to home." Gokul's father had also joined the march, and they did not even know. Not even Gokul and Dhani have a knowledge that their father is with the march. He shook his head. "I should have known you two would do something like this." Father said that I don't have any knowledge regarding you, that you both of us are there. Well, now it's a time to go back to home. I know it's a fun you would like to go on, but it's long walk and it is not for a small boys. So will you be going? Gokul wanted to know. Gokul wanted to know from his father that, "Father, you are going?" His father shook his head. "No, I am going back too with others from our village." Father said that, "I am also not going because Bapu doesn't want us to leave our work. Work is his first preference. So he didn't allow us to leave our work." He said that there are others who will take our place from the next village. "Can we take another look at Bapu before we leave?" Dandi just asked from Gokul's father that, "Uncle, please, can we take another look at Bapu before we leave? I just want to see one time more." Gandhiji was fast asleep on a charpai under the shade of a tree. They gave him a last admiring glance and began the long trudge home. Trudge means tiring. Tiring back to home. They just return back to their home, and last time they just see the face of Mahatma Gandhi. This is the last scene, how all people are sit around Gandhiji and see him. So this is your chapter based on a salt movement. Try to understand it deeply, and thank you.